And just like
Go
that,
ahead.
we are here live. It is the very first day for OLE. That is our local establishment. Chris Parrish, ole to you, sir.
Ole to you, my friend. In fact, we will do. Actually, I don't have that in this thing, so my bad.
Next time. We'll be prepared.
Next time. Yeah.
We are excited, though. We are, this is Ole Day, the very first day that we are doing a stream here for our local establishment. And we thought that we would come on for just a few minutes here to talk to you guys, allow you to get your seats ready, get comfortable, get strapped in, because we're ready to go with our very first show here on Ole. And it's a big one. It's all things spooky-ooky-ish. We got our good friends dropping Paramindful here in a matter of minutes. Parrish, your thoughts on this whole day? Man, it's exciting.
Yeah, it's a very exciting time because we have definitely put in a lot of work just to get this going in, and we know there's a lot more work to come. So I just want to take the time and say anybody who has shown any support to us, we very much thank you from the bottom of our hearts about this. But we also want to just say, if you haven't already and you can, please check out twitch.tv/our local establishments and hit that subscribe button and let us help you get to actually, you're helping us get to Twitch affiliate, but we're going to help you by putting on even better shows when we're Twitch affiliated, because it just allows us a little bit more freedom to do a little bit more. And also, if you want to help and get affiliated with our local establishments, just check us out on all the social platforms on our local establishment, throughout Twitter, throughout Facebook. And I'm sure I believe that there's a little graphic that we have on here that you can see with all the QR codes there. Go check out all of that. Message us privately about this, and we can definitely get a hold of you, and we can definitely talk a little bit more about that. And we definitely have to say thank you to our sponsor, Rogue Affiliate, by the way, coming in. If you want to go check out them, you can definitely hit them up at rogueenergy.com. Promo code OLE pods to get 10% off your order. I know there's a plethora of flavors. Our own Melball Collins ordered it, and she was absolutely through the roof, impressed about how amazing the flavors of these were. So go check them out. And Bobby, I know you know a lot more about this, so let us know a little bit more about Rogue Energy.
All right, for those of you who haven't heard me run my mouth on this previously on any other streams, get ready for Rogue Energy. They are the alternative to the energy drinks you find in the store. If you're looking to do something a little bit more healthy, that's sugar-free, vegan-friendly, low-calorie, but loaded with flavor and going to give you the energy to be able to stream all night, that our friends over at Rogue Energy are the ones to go visit. You've got the link down below, OLE Pods, 10% off, and the QR code in the right corner, because we love QR codes. We know all you do too, so check out that QR code. Use OLE Pods and find yourself a delicious alternative to energy drinks lifestyle.
Yeah. Outside of that, is there anything else you want to mention or say to the people watching about our local establishment before we get started with the very first show, Paramindful, which is not a wrestling show, which is amazing because our local establishment is more than just professional wrestling.
It sure is. And that's the thing. You're going to find a plethora of different shows, different talents joining us here over on OLE. And again, if you find something you like here on our local establishment, make sure to follow it. Check out the people that are contributing, really give them a follow on all their socials and do the best we can, because we're all about helping out everybody. And we want this to feel like it's a channel for everyone. So it's a community. Get in that chat, talk to each other, help each other out. In fact, we're very encouraging as well as, reaching out and following one another within these things too. So if you get on Twitch, do follow for follows. We're happy to support that tier. We have no problem with that. Just keep the conversation going on the side. There will be comments through the show, but Parrish, I think we will just get awesome right now. Andre, thank you for joining us, man. I really do appreciate it. I think any questions that anyone might have, definitely hold them to the end of the show, and Parrish and I can come back on for a few minutes Q&A just at the end. Just with that being said, this is a pre-recorded program, Paramindful, that we got coming up for you. So the people on screen will not be able to answer questions in a live capacity, but they will drop all their ways to reach out to them after the fact. So if you want to get in on the conversation for Paramindful, Parrish and I will do our best to answer questions at the end of the show. And after that, reach out to the hosts at any point in time, and they'll be happy to have a conversation with you about all things spooky-ooky-ish.
Right. And I think, I mean, with that being said,
Oh, I barely prepared.
it is all right. Well, for one, I think this is going to be a staple at OLE. We have to do this. I guess I'm going to challenge you to the OLE pod challenge, and I'm hoping you can challenge me. And then once we complete said challenge, we will get to Paramindful, the very first episode of our local establishments as well.
Well, of course, we haven't officially done one for the channel yet, so I will start us off with a good old hooray! And I'm now challenging you, Parrish, to do the same.
Hooray!
There we go. That's what it takes to get the show started. Hope you guys are all ready to go, geared up. Sit back and enjoy from our wonderful friends here on our local establishment, the very first episode of Paramindful.
Good evening and welcome to Paramindful. It is our first episode. I am your Melball. That is, other side is Karl, and down there is Alex. We're here to talk about all things spooky-ooky-ish going forward. We got a bi-weekly show coming up, but I think this episode you got to find out all about us, all about our spooky background and everything that got us into the Paramindful kind of era. Guys, how you doing today?
I'm solid.
Absolutely fantastic.
Excellent, Alex. So guys, paranormal, paramindful. How are we feeling about getting into a show about spooky ooky ish? Karl, we've been talking about this a little bit.
We definitely have been, and this isn't anything that's foreign to me. This is something that I have done before in the past, which I mean we can talk about a little bit later if need be. But yeah, this isn't anything new for me.
Mhm. Excellent, excellent. Myself, this is definitely something new to me. I've been a big fan of spooky stuff, paranormal shows. I have lists of shows that I have watched that are no longer on TV that people be like, "What the heck?" But you know what? It's so nice to get a group of people together who are interested in this kind of spooky stuff. Alex, let's talk about this spooky stuff.
Yeah. My story is simple. Um, I have done the whole podcast thing before, but never about paranormal stuff. But that's from like, I don't know, I'm going to say age 6, maybe. I came across a book. Um, I, I don't know where the book came from, but I'm assuming it's my brother. It was like um oh hell, what was it? It was like super scary stories that you wouldn't believe are true or something like that. And on the cover was some creepy ghouly type, I don't know, for lack of a better word, grim reaper. And then that book led me to dig into the other books that were on the shelf, and then it was like UFOs and like Bigfoot. It hasn't ended, and I'm 36 years old now, so
It's kind of how it goes, huh? Like we kind of it's like that trendy little audio that's on the internet right now. This is my personality for the rest of my life.
yeah.
It really does feel like it is. With myself, I mean, I never actually got really into spooky stuff in the same way I think that traditionally, yourself did with a book or like myself, I just started experiencing stuff and not knowing quite how to explain it kind of led me into investigating about it, especially when the internet started to come around more in my adolescency. Carl, how about yourself? How did you kind of get into the spooky stuff?
It's a story.
Oh,
So,
I like
yeah.
stories.
So, I would say I was probably about 11 or 12 years old. And we were living in this apartment building. And all of a sudden, during the night, I could see a little girl standing at the end of my bed.
Time to move, man. It's time to move.
Right? I was young. I had no idea what was going on. I had no clue. I had no way to even know how to approach this with my
Right.
parents, to tell them, to let them know what the hell is going on.
No
I
frame
had
of
no
reference.
idea. No idea. So this little girl is at the end of my bed, and I just covered up and tried to pay no attention to it, but it kept reoccurring. And it wasn't like it was the same day of the week or same time or anything like that. It was very random when I would see this little girl.
Mm.
So I
Was it
am
always when you were like asleep and stuff, or like
it
you know
was
what I mean?
when I was going to
Right,
sleep.
right.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like if you were like washing dishes or something.
No.
Okay.
No, the only place
Interesting.
I ever saw this girl was at the end of my bed.
Mm.
That was it. So I'm a spiritual person. I believe that there's a God. I believe that there is a God that allows whatever to happen. So I decided one Wednesday night when we were doing church on Wednesday nights that I would go and talk to a priest that I was very close with, and he's since passed away, and I miss Wayne a lot. I do. He was a very big part of my journey into the world of paranormal. So I'm talking with Wayne and telling him what's been going on, and I said I just need some help. Like, what do I do for her? What can I do? How do I get rid of this? What's happening? And it was very simple. The words that he gave me. He said, the next time you see her, say hi. My name's Karl. What's yours? So it was about 3 days later that I saw this girl at the end of my bed again. And I remembered those words from Wayne. And I'm like, hi, my name's Karl. What's yours? She didn't answer.
Okay.
She did not answer. No.
I'm Carl
So-
too.
Right? Could you imagine?
I'm the boogeyman.
So I went to sleep and I woke up and everything was fine and I never saw her again. So I don't know if she just needed like that little bit of validation
Right.
to like,
Mm.
hey, somebody does see me.
So-
Acknowledgement, yeah, like that's a good word to use,
it-
but that was
Did it bother you that she didn't show up anymore?
no.
No. Okay.
No, I felt very peaceful.
So it wasn't like you were missing something.
No,
Okay.
no,
Mm.
definitely not.
I think everybody
As someone
should know
who's not
whoever's.
particularly fan of children, I would be very happy that the child would stop showing up.
I think everybody who's watching should know that I know Mel,
Mhm.
but this is so difficult. Me and Carl have never met, so these stories are legit new. It's kind of cool.
Mhm. Mhm, mhm.
It
And
is. It
with
definitely
myself, I
is.
think I'm very similar with Carl in that I wasn't actually seeing, like, I'm very spiritual, so I wasn't actually seeing any apparitions, but I could feel the change in the spiritual energy when you walk into a room. So as I've grown up, I was in a military family, so my family moved usually every 3 to 5 years. Um, Whenever we would go to a new home, sometimes it was totally good and chill and there was no problems. But other times you could just go to various places of the house, particularly basements. I don't know what it is about basements, if they're just inherently creepy, but basement energy gives me bad heebie jeebies. There's been homes where I've lived in for a good 3 years that I've never stepped foot in one building or in one room in that building because I didn't want to, because of the energy I felt. It felt um, repelling, almost like threatening. You're not supposed to be here, kind of thing. And that did translate, as we moved. Also, I had I had the pleasure of living in Fort Leonard Wood in the middle of Missouri. which is the middle of nowhere, in case anybody wants to look it up on a map, in the middle of Tornado Alley. And my parents' idea of summer fun was throwing me in the back of a car and driving in any direction we could go and seeing what we got. So I did get to tour a lot of, particularly the southern United States. And this little energy sensor that I had became very, very detrimental to these travels. Because as we're going throughout the southern United States, we obviously know this is where a lot of Civil War battles have happened. Places like Gettysburg, places, there was like Thayer's Reach and stuff like that. I toured these battlegrounds. And let me tell you, my parents will tell you, I was the moodiest, most miserable bitch at these trips, just simply because of the energy just having such a tremendous negative impact on me. And let me tell you, Gettysburg was the absolute worst. It was the worst place. If you are any kind of sensitive, medium, any kind of that, you will feel things that are not your own feelings, and your body will have no control over what it is that you're doing, and you'll just react. Imagine this like 12-year-old girl on a perfectly sunny day running around bawling that it's miserable outside because that's all they see because of what they're experiencing. It's been, again, detrimental to my travels. Let me tell you. Have you guys kind of experienced anything similar?
I have. So I used to be a very religious person, like very religious. Now I'm agnostic at most, so apologize if that angers anybody, but I think there's something, I just don't know what it is. I'll start. Okay, when I was like 7 years old, this still gives me goosebumps. I got goosebumps right now, and I haven't even said anything. I was woken up in the middle of the night, not by somebody shaking me or whatever, but just with this urge, this need to look out the window. And I guess I was sleeping in the basement. I was 7 years old. I guess I lived. I didn't own a house though, obviously. But anyways, so it was like, I'm gonna say 5 feet off the ground. It was like one of those windows that are like ground level almost.
Okay.
And I had blinds. So I stood on my bed and I opened up the blinds, and it sounds like I'm bullshitting, but clear as day, I see a black figure with a hat, with like crimson, not like fire glowing eyes, but like you could tell that they were a type of red, and like a Cheshire cat kind of grin. And it took me, I don't know, like 20 years or something, listening to like Coast to Coast AM to realize that I'm not the only person who has seen this. And there was one lady, I don't remember what her name is, who had coined the term. It was Shadow Man and it was Hat Man, and everything kind of clicked. But it was pretty crazy. But that's what happened when I was 7, and I have, how do I word this? Well, consider myself a sensitive, is what I am. I was lucky enough to travel to Nicaragua. For those of you who don't know, that's Central America. And I got to tour a bunch of crazy, crazy shit. So if you don't know about the whole thing about Nicaragua, there was a dictator there, and he tortured people, and people went missing. It was very much like Stalin-esque. And it took an earthquake for part of a mountain to slide to realize that this dictator had torture chambers in his house, in the mountain and stuff. Anyways, he was overthrown, but he had the National Guard on his side, and his National Guard had these big fortifications, and I was lucky / unlucky enough to go inside one and kind of like look around and everything. And they haven't cleaned up a single thing. So there's still blood on the walls and everything like that. I mean, it's all old. It's like decades old or whatever, but they had this chain link cage that was, if it was 6 feet wide, I'd be surprised, but it was like 13 feet high, 15 feet high, something like that. And what they would do is if they caught two rebels, they would take one, throw him inside this chain link box, take the other one, torture him, throw him on top of the chain link box so the blood and all that stuff would rain down on him, right? I have never been in a place that I have known was so full of negative energy and so completely haunted. Like I left, like I got goosebumps right now just talking about it again, but I have never left a place knowing that I am that I have a gift of some sort, you know what I mean? Like it was just bizarre. It was super, super bizarre. I got thousands more stories, so I'll let somebody else go.
So I actually have a question for both of you then. So both of you had these experiences when you were young. Has this sensitive feeling continued on? Do you still have that today?
100%, yeah. 100%. We actually, my partner and I just went to go visit my parents in Canmore. Newish building, like was made maybe 15, 20 years ago. Very, very new. I was awoken in the nighttime by someone on my left-hand side. It sounded like someone was just standing there and they shifted. So you could hear like the rubbing of fabric. But my partner was on the other side of me. So like there was one of those, it was just one of those things where I knew there was an individual right there. I knew that they were shifting. But the only individual that I know is alive in the room with me is on the other side of me.
Right.
There was also actually an incident. I had briefly mentioned it to you before when we were actually pitching the Paramindful show. Was I actually moved into my current place here, partially to kind of escape just past events, but also because I was driven out of my home. And Alex actually saw
I was about to
the
say it.
thing
I was
that
about to
actually
say it.
drove me out of my home.
Really?
Yeah, it was a very it's a story. Let me tell you guys, buckle up. This one's a little.
It's pretty.
This is a doozy. So I was in a pretty bad relationship. There's a lot of negativity. And not long before the relationship really imploded, I started seeing orbs floating around my home. It started out as just one, but what was odd about this orb, usually when we see orbs, they're projected as like a light, like a white light that you just kind of see. These orbs were not white, they were black. And you would almost see one kind of come in from your peripheral. When you look at it, it's gone. And then as the weeks went on, it became more and more and more. There were multiple orbs, and they didn't care about being in my peripheral or not. They just come right out in front of me and kind of float around. I started to feel crazy because I'm sitting here going, "Do you not see that?" And he's like, no, I don't see anything. As the relationship worsened, the sightings of these things worsened. I started to almost think that like I was seeing them as a personification of the negativity of the relationship. When I finally kicked the guy out, then literally within like 30 minutes of me kicking him out, I start seeing hundreds of these orbs. They're just buzzing all around my apartment. And I'm like, what the frick is going on? They suddenly all start combining in one space, and they almost create this like tornado-like effect without creating any wind. There was no air movement around it whatsoever. And then it just suddenly almost collapsed in itself. It was almost like it just went and disappeared in like one little flash, and everything was calm. And in that moment, I was like, oh my God, it was him. He was the problem. Yes, this was the right decision. Cool, going forward. Like I had hope, and it was a false hope, because about 2 or 3 days later, I started getting these horrible nightmares where I didn't know what was chasing me, but I was horrified of whatever it was. And it wasn't one of those dreams where it's like you're in a first person shooter and you know that you're running and you can look back and you're seeing it from your perspective. I was seeing it from a third person perspective. So I'm watching myself run from whatever it is that's chasing me, and I am terrified. I can see the horror on my own face. Right before whatever it was catching up to me, wake up. For a couple weeks, that's kind of how my sleep was. And then it evolved into this thing was catching me. Wherever I was, whatever I was doing, it would find me. And the last thing I would see is myself being yanked away from whatever open door, open window, whatever escape that I had. I would see myself being yanked away. And then I would wake up. And as that evolved, it suddenly became, you know, the movie Hostel, where people get kidnapped,
yeah.
they get tortured. Suddenly it became that room where you
That's
could see this thing. I
bananas.
called him the lurker, and he would be standing in the shadow watching me, and I'm stuck. I'm on the torture bed. And it was just, it was never anything that it would do to me in that moment, but it would just sit there. And the feeling of impending doom was what was overwhelming. It evolved from there into myself being tortured by this thing, where I was being mutilated, I was being ripped apart, and this thing is just sitting there in the shadows because I still couldn't see it at this point.
I didn't know this part of the story. This is
Yeah,
fascinating.
there's yeah. This was the point where I actually had to. I noticed that it was affecting my waking sleep, or like my waking day, because I would tear my sheets. Like I was clawing my way through my sheets. It was crazy. So then, from myself being tortured, it evolved into my friends, my family, my people being tortured. It was horrifying.
In your dream,
In
your
my
friends were being
dreams.
tortured. Okay.
Yeah. And it was about that time that it started showing itself in my apartment during the day. And it would be, I would see it in my kitchen. The way my apartment was set up, I did have a mirrored backsplash along the entirety of my kitchen. I could see the shadow of it coming, and then it would duck right down behind my cupboards and peek out at me while I was sitting on my couch. And it would just keep peeking because it would know it bothered me, because I would think it's one of my animals. At that point, I had 4 animals. So I'm like, which animal is that pissing me off? It was never any of them. The dogs were always next to me. The cats were always where they should be. Um, when I did finally see it, it was actually in my dining room in the darkest part of my apartment, because obviously that's where it's going to hide. Um, and it was so tall that its head actually crooked at the top of my ceiling. And this thing's face was utterly horrifying, you guys. It had too much skin on its face, and that had pulled it forward into the center here, but it kind of looked like that stitching kind of all the way down its face. And then it looked like it had clawed 3 slits in that skin so it could actually see out of its eye holes. This thing was essentially, to me, it looked like a Slender Man, even though I know a Slender Man is just kind of a made up thing. It was very tall, it was very lanky, it was wearing a suit. That was something that I find is kind of like different among people who have seen the same thing. This thing was wearing a suit, and it loved to jump scare me. Absolutely loved it. I'm thalassophobic, nyctophobic, so I'm terrified of the dark. My apartment at this time, very, very dark, did not help this situation. I would turn my lights on as I'm going to the bathroom. As I was coming out, whenever I would turn that one light off, it would always be just wham right there, boom, right in my face. So one night, Alex was actually over. We were ironically watching Ghost Adventures, and I went to the bathroom. When I came back and turned the light off, he suddenly gets off the couch and he starts coming at me like he's gonna kick my ass. I'm like, dude, what are you doing? He's like, who the hell is in here? He saw this thing jump scare me and go right in front of me.
I will clarify. I did not see a face. What I saw was a very tall, I guess, humanoid, arms, body, legs kind of thing. Didn't see hands, didn't see feet, just tall and like a head shape. I did not see the face. So I cannot
That was
talk
left for
about
me.
slips or anything, but like clear as day. And
Mhm.
yeah. And I want to say at this point in time, I didn't know about her story. I
Mhm.
want to say, and I was like, who the fuck was that? Yeah.
Yeah, because this was one of those moments where it's like I wasn't entirely sure if I was losing my mind and like having delusions and hallucinations, or if it was really real. Having Alex experience it, and then all the other friends who would come over would also see the thing creeping around in the kitchens, moving around in the dining room. It started to really unsettle me.
Did the
Um,
other people, did they see it as like a shadow, or was it like
mhm.
legit a person kind of thing, like you and I
They
had
saw it
seen?
more of a shadow.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
remember, so her place was super like dark. There was
Hmm.
like no,
Ground level.
yeah, there was no like lights on the top, basically is what it was.
Hmm.
Um but like you would walk in the house, and then like a little jog to the right hand, I guess it shows left hand, whatever, little jog to the right,
Hmm.
and on the wall was the couch, and then you would
Hmm.
face the TV. On your right hand side, if you were sitting on the couch, was the kitchen, and kind of like diagonally to the right hand side was the dining room,
Hmm.
and the dining room was always like pitch black, but there was
Yeah,
always something
off.
moving there, for lack of a better word, like something darker
Hmm.
than the dark was. It's really
Yeah,
bizarre.
that room in particular was always like that, always like that.
And it's
And
interesting because she had never said that the room was always like that. It was just like
mhm,
myself, I just knew that that room wasn't good. And
mhm,
Right.
who knows what the hell happened there in the past or whatever, but
yeah.
I mean, I'm assuming nobody got wasted, or you know what I
I
mean?
mean, not
Nobody.
as far as I'm aware.
I feel like they should
But
let
who
you know
knows
that
what
if
have
you're
happened on the
renting.
land beforehand too. I mean,
That's
St.
yeah.
Albert is the
Yeah, that's
Martian
right.
land.
That's right.
Who knows? This whole situation did result in me looking for a new place and getting this one. Alex did give me some evil eyes to actually put over top of my doorways, and I also saged the place before moving in, just to make sure that we've got the good mojo jojo. But
Right.
I don't know if I've mentioned this to you, Alex, but it did follow me.
Yeah, but it
It
stays
did
in your
come.
garage, right?
Yeah, it's in the garage. I do smoke out in my garage. So when I am out there, every once in a while I
You
can hear
do
it.
the
It likes,
drugs?
I
Sorry,
didn't say I was doing the drugs. I said I was smoking. And you're the one who made the
I can
assumption.
cut that out if you like.
um, regardless, when I'm out there, I personally thought that whatever it was a demon.
Right.
And I
Yeah.
feel that um it tells me this when it shows up. Admittedly, the last few times that it has showed up, instead of being like scared of it like I usually was, I've stood up to it and it has stopped coming around as much. But
Has it
you
ever been
can hear it.
vocal?
It does the three knock on a can or something, or
Okay.
on the, yeah, and it's not anything that happens regularly.
Has it ever
It
been
is
vocal though? Like, has it ever
not not like
like words?
without audio help, but I do suspect that I did
Define
hear it
audio help.
once. Well, like
Like one of those.
disembodiment.
Gotcha.
I, I
Okay.
I don't think it's ever spoken to me in a disembodied kind of
Gotcha.
way,
Okay.
but I did a few years ago did have one of the what are they called again? Why am I losing it right now? The
The little
box.
box that talks. Spirit
Yeah,
box.
Spirit box
yeah,
like an SB7.
yeah. It was like a spirit box and Ovulus app.
Okay.
And when I was on there, I did get some pretty creepy laughs come through there.
Time to
You know,
move.
y- Well, I mean, this was in the garage. I'm not concerned about the main part of my home.
I'd be worried about my
But,
motorcycle.
yeah, maybe don't do that on a motorcycle. Save your motorcycle, sir. But yeah, that has been something that did obviously very tremendously affect my adult life involving the paranormal. And I wish I provided it to you guys before. I do have a painting of
I'm
that
I'm
somebody.
actually glad you didn't. I am, because this
It's
is
not the
very intriguing.
It's very interesting because I didn't know some of this stuff. So I knew like the
yeah.
like top 3 layers maybe. And now we're at like layer 87. It's pretty awesome.
Now,
Well,
Mel,
this thing is
before
like
you
a
continue,
Pazuzu thing. It does show up everywhere, and this painting is the creature that I saw. It's just it on all fours.
okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I do want to say to anyone that is listening, you've heard now both Mel and Alex both talking about how they maybe thought that they were losing it, maybe thought that they were going a little crazy type of thing, and
Mm-hmm.
you're not.
Yeah.
So if you're listening to this and you're wondering and you're confused, don't be, because this is something that is, for me, I like to see the positive in these things, even though something can be very dark and very negative.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm the one that was able to see this, so there's got to be some
There's
reason
something
why,
special. Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
So it's not anything to be totally afraid of. Definitely you need to be on
Mhm.
your guard, but you're not losing it, you're not going crazy, you don't need a psych ward. You need
Yeah.
people like us that have experienced and understand to be here with you, for you, and to help you out.
It's
So
it's often something I think about, how many people have been locked away for,
Mhm.
you know what I mean, whether it's legit schizophrenia or whether it's they're here, you know what I mean, hearing spirits or whatever. I'm always
Mhm.
curious, and it's a number I'll never know. Nobody will ever know, but
no.
who's been locked away for seeing something that other people can't see, or hearing something, or smelling something, or tasting something, whatever it is, you know. There's statistically there has to be somebody, at least one,
Mhm.
who has been locked away being like, I am legit, I'm not lying, I know what I saw, you know what I mean. And
Mhm. Mhm.
it's kind of heartbreaking because you'd be sitting there, I'm assuming in a padded room back in the day, and you know what I
Mhm.
mean, like, why am I here? I didn't do anything wrong, there's nothing wrong with me. Or maybe they thought there was something wrong, but you know. And then
And
they're
chances are, whatever's still talking to you was still talking to you.
exactly right, and they're probably dosing you up with lithium, so you got no way of moving, you know. Like, there's obviously, back in the day, I don't know if they use lithium anymore, but
Mhm.
but like, you'd be sitting there in a padded room, maybe in a straitjacket, who knows, but this thing's still there, or these
Mhm.
things are still there, or you're still hearing, and it doesn't do anything, you know. So it's very
Mhm.
interesting.
Mhm. It's
It's
also
just a thought.
interesting to see how much we've changed, because remember back in the days of, like, Greek mythology and even like the Viking mythology, they would have
Mhm.
people who are specifically supposed to talk to the
Yeah,
gods or talk to the spirits and
yeah,
talk
the
to the
Greek had
ancestors.
the Oracle of Delphi there, right? And then
Yeah.
science explains it away, like, oh, she was high on whatever, or it was carbon monoxide that she was inhaling. I'm like, I don't know, it's possible, but what if this person just had a gift, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Cool
Oh, this
stuff.
paranormal stuff. Gotta
Yeah.
love it.
That all reminds me of another story, though.
Oh, please tell.
Have you
Yes.
guys ever heard of the Queen Mary?
Oh, yes, the
not
ship.
not the
Yes.
actual queen, but like the ship
The ship, yeah.
that was like a
Mhm.
cruise liner, then it became a troop transport ship, then it became a med ship, and then it became a cruise ship again. Lots of people died
Mhm.
on it. It used to be moored, moored, I'm assuming that's what it is, anchored.
Doc.
Anchored,
um
moored. Yeah.
is that what it is? Now I think it's in, I want to say it's in Santa Monica, but I don't know anymore. It's been a long time. Anyways,
Mhm.
I was on that, I was on it. I took a tour of it, and while I didn't see anything ghostly, there was an experience that I had, and it was actually, it's in the intro of this show. I put it. It was a picture of a swimming pool. That is a swimming pool on the Queen Mary that I was standing by. Now, nowadays, from what I'm being told, is that the pool is kept full of water. Thus, if anybody were to fall in, it doesn't kill them. When I went, it was not full. And this tour guide was talking to everybody, all the adults or whatever. And I turn to my left and I see this little kid climbing the stairs to the slide, which is also in that picture. And I'm sitting there and I don't know what to do. So I'm like, what? That kind of thing, right? His dad turns around and grabs him and says, "What are you doing? What are you doing?" The kid says, "Don't you see all the kids playing in the water?" Oh my God, man. I could sand wood right now with my arms, man. It's crazy. Oh, gives me the heebie-jeebies, man. Yeah, and then
yeah, no kidding. You're hoping that you have some like holy water to just dump into there real quick.
like I always knew something was up there. Like I knew that it wasn't right or didn't feel right. And I mean, take this with a grain of salt, but there was one of those paranormal shows from the UK that came over to the States and did an investigation of the Queen Mary, and they were at that pool, which was full of water now, and they had filmed. I mean, like I said, grain of salt. It's terracotta floor, like brown tile that's not shiny, and there was like footprints, wet footprints, like adult-sized feet, and they were filming them, and then all of a sudden a tile got thrown at the wall beside them, and I mean, again, if you're not watching everybody, it could be somebody, right? So, but
was that Ghost Hunters International or was that Ghost Adventures? I feel
no,
like something like that
it
happened on
wasn't
Ghost
either of
Adventures.
them. It was so Ghost Hunters International had that I think it was Irish or Welsh maybe. Anyways,
Yeah.
this was a pretty old, not pretty old, but like it was a pretty older woman, and her husband and a couple of other people. I don't remember what it was called though.
Was it oh, what were those EMP specialists? Constantinos.
No.
Oh,
It
okay.
was a little bit older than them. I'm
Oh.
Googling right now.
Carl, is there anywhere that you've been where you kind of got the heebie-jeebies while Alex was looking for that?
So I'll tell another quick story then. Before I tell the story, though, I want everybody's attention to go down to the ticker area. Down at the bottom, you see an email address there, paramindful@gmail.com. We want to hear your stories as well. If you have any experiences that you have had, please share them with us. And I'll leave that down there for you for a little bit. paramindful@gmail.com.
Also,
Send
feel
in
free
those
to
stories.
in the comments. I'm assuming they're down below here. I'm
Probably in that area.
Feel
They're
free
up
to
there
add.
somewhere now.
Last time I checked, that's how it worked.
Usually. So
Carl, tell us that story.
yeah, so my experience actually involves me and 3 other people that all witnessed this. Now, it isn't something that we all saw, but it's something that we heard. So we have a very, very old school from back in the early 1900s. I believe 1908-ish, around that time, this place was actually built. And I work security. So I'm out during the night, and this was one of the places that we had to go, and we had to check and make sure that the building was safe during the night. So I go around to this building and I find a door open. Now, this door that was open on the outside of the building led down to the basement, interestingly enough. So I backed up the vehicle. Right? Basements again. So I backed the vehicle up so that I could see the door in the rear view. And I radioed over to my other guy that was out for the night. And I'm like, hey, I found a door open. It's in the basement. Like, I want somebody else here. I'm not going down there by myself.
Rightfully so, yeah.
Yeah, right. So as I'm waiting for my other guy to show up, the president and the vice president of the company are out driving around, and they see that I'm sitting there. So they pull in and they're like, dude, what's going on? And I'm like, well, there's a door open here. I'm waiting for, our other guy to come by, and we're going to go inside and take a look. And they were all gung ho. They're like, nope, we got to do it now. And I'm like, all right,
Let's kick
like,
open doors.
right. So it was like, okay.
Leroy Jenkins.
As I get out of the vehicle, the other guy shows up, thankfully. So now there's 4 of us. So we all go down into the basement, and I get a phone call from the alarm response company. Says, hey, got an alarm going off at this address. And I'm like, oh, cool. We're down in the basement here. And they're like, no, it's not for the basement. It's for the main floor. And I'm like,
Like, just quit right there, bro.
okay. So 2 of us run back up outside.
Right.
2 of them continued on down in the basement. The 2 of us, we get inside, disarm the panel that was thankfully like right there. And then the other 2 made their way up from outside through the basement to the inside. So we're all standing there and we're like, okay, so like, how are we going to go about this now? What are we going to do? We all made sure that our radios were all synced up so that we could communicate, because it's a huge building. As we're getting ready, 2 of them are going to go down this way. 2 of us are going to go straight through. We hear a scream, a woman's scream from above us. So it was either the 2nd or the 3rd floor.
So it wasn't like just in the sea, like in the air above you. It was like on another floor.
Another floor.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely another
just had
floor.
to clarify.
No, understandable. So in this area, there were only certain doors that you could actually access to get out. So we had the 2 guys that were going to go to the left. We had them stay downstairs. They could see each other, be in communication at the 2 doors, while 2 of us went together and searched the entire building. After 45 minutes of searching the entire building, going into every room, going into every closet, checking absolutely everywhere in this place, we come back downstairs and say, did you guys see anything? And they're like, nope, we've just been waiting here. And there was absolutely no one.
Wow.
So it was a very cool experience to be able to
Yeah.
have, especially for 4 of us
Yeah.
to all have the exact same experience, and
Well,
all of us kind of going, what the hell, bro?
It's also kind of like, I know I'm not crazy because you saw it too, right? You know?
Right?
Yeah.
Now, while I say just quit and run, I never would. I would always, I'm the dude who would run right in there first.
Right. I do all the time. I run
Yeah,
in there
for
first.
sure.
That's my job.
Although there is an experience that I did have. I don't think, Alex, you were with me when this happened. I think you thought I was mental.
Probably. I mean,
We
I do
were-
anyways.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
We were actually out with a couple friends at a casino in St. Albert, which is not very far from where I live. And when we were just walking through, I'd actually heard kind of like a weird noise behind me. When I turned around, there was like a disfigured person standing in between me and my group of friends. So my first reaction was, "Huh," and I fell down. I just
This
fell on
is
my ass.
so familiar, but I don't remember it. Like,
Yeah.
it just rings a bell.
Yeah, and it was one of those moments where I saw something, but no one else did, and we were in the middle of a casino. So it's
But
like,
again, it's in the middle of a casino that was built on a city that was built on Indian
in
burial
a
grounds.
swamp.
Or I guess
We don't
they're
don't
not
know
called,
what happened in that swamp.
Right, they're not called Indian burial grounds. They would be indigenous burial grounds. Just clarify, depending on where you're
This
from.
was
Because
definitely a white guy.
oh no, I'm just saying. I'm just saying because like here, we would know they're known as indigenous. But then if you were to say that to the people in the States, I think they still call them Native Americans. I don't know. So
I believe you're right. Yeah,
just to
Yeah.
clarify, that's who we're talking about. That like old
it's so
school.
crazy the
Yeah.
experiences we have and that we do or do not share with everybody around us. So crazy. Carl, do you have any other stories that you've had with other people, or any other paranormal stories that really made you a believer?
I definitely do.
Mhm.
I have a number of them what I'm going to do is save them because I know that there are going to be some great energy that will come to the show. If we want to talk about energy as well for a moment, again, down at the ticker there for me, please. We have a wonderful group called Rogue Energy that allows us to have some fantastic products, all natural, that keep us energized while we're going through and doing our daily life, as well as coming together and talking about these paranormal experiences that we have
I
had.
just ordered some, and it is in the shipment mode at this point in time.
Mine is in Edmonton. She's about to be shipped in the next couple of
I'm gonna
days.
check to see where mine is right now. Maybe
Well,
mine's here, and I just haven't looked.
While you're checking that, I hope that you used our promo code as well.
100%.
OLE pods, pluralized. OLE pods is going to get you 10% off your entire purchase over at rogueenergy.com.
Definitely check out that Shirakawa special. It's going to be the anime shaker cup. You get to pick, I think it's 6 or 7 different flavors that you get to pick, along with their energy drinks and their protein, which they have a cookies and cream protein, you guys.
I'm looking
Cookies and
forward to
cream.
the. I haven't tried the Sour Patch Kids one. That's on its way. I found that British show. It's called Most Haunted. It was with that Yvette Fielding and her husband.
Cool.
And then I don't know when it stopped, but I'm assuming 2021 is the last. Yeah, crazy. I'm old. I remember the old school stuff when they filmed it with digital cameras. Actually, I guess it wasn't even digital. It was like film cameras, you know?
Right?
Like, I think I see a ghost, and it's like some pixelated garbage. You're like, I don't know, man.
A baseball flies across the screen. It was an orb.
That's exactly what it looks like too, eh?
Right?
Is it black though? Is it black? Those ones are clearly a problem.
Yes. Yes, they are.
If you're seeing black orbs, please kill it with fire.
That's
not
right.
yourself. It.
I was gonna say I have other stories as well, but not like I have a couple ghosty things, but I have other stuff like little whirly birds in the sky that come from space.
Okay.
So I'll save those for another show as well, but
so what can the people that are listening and watching this expect out of this show, Paramindful?
Honesty.
What can you guys expect? You guys can expect episodes where we're going to talk about specific clips, about specific things. We're going to talk about cryptids. We're going to talk about places like the Bermuda Triangle, that creepy Transylvanian Romanian forest.
Super
Heck,
cool.
we might even talk about Sir Dracula himself.
Don't forget Aokigahara.
Yeah,
Aokigahara at the foot of Mount Fuji. Oh.
We have a lot of First Nations legends, some that we're not supposed to talk about because it will incite them. So we'll talk about them, but not say their names.
I'll say it right now.
For artists, shush, Alex.
Do you want me to say it?
No. I don't want to become a target.
Think Walker, Texas Ranger, but take away Texas Ranger and add epidermis. Epidermis, Texas. No, epidermis, Walker, Texas Ranger.
Oh my God. We need to make a paranormal filter for that one. Name
That's
your
right.
show.
Yeah.
Name the cryptid. I think we have the potential to talk about even maybe some Tommy knockers in the next coming kind of episodes. And I even stayed very, very uncomfortably close to the Poveglia Island in Venice, which is notoriously haunted, was a dumping ground for a lot of plague victims, and actually has an island made out of human remains and ashes.
I was going to say,
very scary place.
If you think you're walking on sand when you're on Poveglia, you're walking on human bones.
Nay, I say.
Nay. It's actually in the intro to this show as well. I added the picture of Poveglia.
Yes, yes. Venice itself is also just an overall creepy, creepy place, and we'll get into that when we talk about Pavalia.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, pretty much Paramindful is going to be your pretty much main base for anything and everything paranormal, supernatural, cryptid, creepy, weird, spooky-ooky-ish. Hashtag spooky-ooky-ish because I want to.
We were
I have-
warned.
Oh, go ahead.
We were warned. That's going to be a phrase that everyone is going to hear a lot.
That's right.
So now you've been warned as well.
I have some updates on my Rogue Energy. It has
Oh.
arrived in Edmonton.
Hey.
It just has not been delivered to my door yet. Soon.
We will get there. We will get there. The next time you see us, we'll be rocking our shakers.
That's right.
All righty. So that being said, it sounds like we have kind of introduced ourselves and what we plan to give you going forward. If you guys want to follow Paramindful, we are going to be on pretty much exclusively on either our YouTube channel, which is going to be the Paramindful channel there. We're also going to be obviously on Ole Podcast.
Ole!
Ole!
Great minds think
Did you
alike.
Ole, Alex? I don't think I heard you.
What's that?
Did you Ole, Alex?
I
don't
did.
think I heard
Alex
you.
did. I didn't.
Yeah, I
I
did
just
it with you.
I
and then
did
was
the
like,
fist
great
motion.
Great minds think alike.
This is the great mind I'm thinking of right now who's going on live with an interview. Shout out to the beautiful Astrid, who is also going to be a part of the Ole podcast. We got some awesome stuff coming up for you for that. That being said, Karl, where can everyone find you and what are you going on or what is going on with you in the next little while?
The best place you can find me is on the Twitter box at K Carufel. That's Karufel. That's the best place you can find me. That's where I'm going to be putting everything that I am part of right there. So you're going to want to follow that.
Awesome. And Alex, where can we find you?
You can't find me. I'm like,
Are you John Cena?
I was just about to say it. No, I have a YouTube channel, but I'm secret on that, and nobody knows what I look like, so I don't know yet if I'm going to share it.
Well, you just did.
Yeah, but I didn't share the name, so you can only guess. Yeah, but I'm not huge on the Twitter box or the Instagram box. So
You will be though, because we're gonna tag the hell out of you, and we're
right.
gonna make sure people annoy you.
I'm getting there. I will get there. I'm tech savvy. I'm just not. I work a lot.
Fair enough. Fair enough. And for myself, you can catch me on Twitter at Collins Melball, and you can also catch me on Instagram at Melball Collins. Kind of a reversal there. You can also find me on Facebook under Melball Collins, and I do also have a separate YouTube channel where I talk about all things Japanese wrestling and just wrestling in general. It's going to be Andre and Melball's Wrestling Talk on YouTube there. You want to go check it out if you have any interest in that bad boy. Other than that, I think that we can log off on our first episode here of Paramindful. Thank you so much to Karl and Alex for taking me up on my crazy little offer here for some spooky-ooky-ish.
Thanks
We're going to
for
bring the world everything spooky.
Thanks for tossing the idea out there. This was awesome.
Definitely
Awesome.
was. This is going to continue on,
Yeah.
people. And yeah, be ready. Be ready.
We're coming. Keep it spooky.
Bobby, I believe you are muted right now. Before you wanna.
Well, there we go. I didn't want to interrupt the previous programming, so I decided to turn myself off.
I mean, so many people are stealing my spots. Do you feel like you have to steal my not muted or unmuting myself spot as well?
Yeah, we're completely taking it all away from you. That's how good you are. You know, it's imitation is the most sincere form of flattery, they do say. But
Well, I mean, as Astra said, now like you're muted, so now I know how she feels every time I mess up. So thank you.
oh, it was someone was bound to screw it up on the first week here at Ole. It might as well be me. But with that being said, oh, burnt you on that one.
I mean, everyone's stealing it now.
No, I mean, Paramindful. Wow, I am blown away. What an excellent show, and congratulations to Mel, Alex, and to Karl. We could talk forever about just how awesome this debut episode was. All three of them just bringing it to the table here, and all bringing different experiences. I was drawn to this show from the start right through to the finish. And even we were chatting in behind the scenes here, talking some of the details and everything like that, including like a big shout out to Karl. Like, we know Karl's background when he does wrestling shows, turnbuckle talk, stuff like that. He's got all his wrestling, great memorabilia behind him. But I noticed the slight change on Karl's behalf here tonight, going with the Paramindful based theme in behind him there today. It's things like that that really make a difference and really show the efforts of the wonderful people we have there joining us here at OLA.
Yeah, and I'm just to add on to that, just hearing all the stories from Mel and her details on every little encounter she had is just truly amazing to show just how much courage she has just to bring that back, because not everyone likes to actually talk about that. So absolutely amazing stuff by Mel. She really carried this episode, in my opinion. And I mean, just every single applause to her. But I mean, yeah, like you said, what a great episode of Paramindful, and a great beginning of our local establishment moving forward now.
Yeah, and even and Alex coming in with a lot of knowledge there as well too, and talking about the Queen Mary was one of the highlights of the show as well too. So I thought this was fantastic. So glad that we got to sit here and experience this together, get to talk about it. And you know what? I also noticed that we hit over 50 followers here on Twitch as this was going on. So thank you to the team at Paramindful and all of you that made it possible for us to hit over 50. We've only got some hours to fill this week, and we will hit that affiliate mode here on our local establishment. And I am so grateful for everybody who has done the effort to push this forward and make this happen so quick, so fast, so that we can continue to bring you great shows like the one you saw tonight.
Yeah, and let's not throw you guys a curveball. We're completely honest and transparent when we say we cannot do this without your support and without your want and need to just to be a good, kind person and throw that time in just to watch shows that we produce. When just add that time to like hit that subscribe button and follow button, whether it's social media or Twitch. We very much appreciate it, and we hope that we can really do a lot more coming forward, and we do plan on doing a lot more, but the sky's the limit for this. I know that's a bad one of those sayings that you hear a lot, but it really is, and we're just very excited, and we're very fortunate that a lot of people are taking that time and opportunity to check out our local establishment. We just want to say thank you, because without you guys, we're just people with an idea. So thank you.
We do appreciate it. And before we get to saying our good nights here with you guys, just want to show you quickly what you could expect for the rest of the week here on OLE, including, being able to go back and watch this wonderful first debut of Paramindful. We got more coming up. Check it out.
To me, like a voice inside my head. It's like a fight back and I'll tweet it. I'm falling.
Yeah, and that's where you can find us on all the socials as well, right here on Twitch, YouTube as well. But outside of what we got going on here at Olay, we want to say anybody that is a contributor here, they have their own YouTube channels, their own social media channels, everything like that. It's not just about supporting and showing us the love here on Olay. It's about showing it to all of them and to all of you. Let us know what you got going on, because if you have a Twitch channel or something like that you want us to check out, maybe you want to eventually be a guest here on one of our Olay shows, reach out to us. It's all about our local establishment. And that's just what it is. It's not just mine, Parish's, or any of the contributors you saw earlier on the screen. It's also every single one of you that shows the love and support every single night of the week.
Yeah, because that's just not Bobby, your way. It's just not my way. That is the Olay way.
Ole!
Olay!
And we just want to say, again, thank you so much. And Bobby, since we're here, we might as well plug our stuff too.
Oh, might as well. I mean, you did see it up on screen there, but why don't you go ahead, because I know you got a big show tomorrow night. Might as well run the people through that.
Yeah, I mean, you can follow me on the Twitter, Chris Parrish, Instagram at Chris.Parrish, Twitch at the Chris Parrish. But I mean, where you can follow me content wise is definitely here on Twitch at our local establishment. Tomorrow night, we have Taking Over episode 7, as I am joined with my co-host Astrid Pizarro, the natural, the biggest star of them all, as we not only review NXT tomorrow, which has both tag team championships being represented. We'll also find out the identity of that mysterious red hoodie. So can't wait. And we're also going to talk about Halloween Havoc mere days before the actual Halloween. So a lot of good stuff. And then, of course, Bobby, you and I every Sunday at Busting Out. I can't wait for that again. And then if you guys want to, you can follow me at the Love Wrestling Show this Friday night at the Rec Room, as I have decided I'm just going to challenge anybody, as I have an open challenge. So I don't even know who I'm going to face. So come check that one out. I appreciate that one.
Well, I would not want to be in the boots, whoever it is that steps up to that challenge, if anybody even has the testicular fortitude to step up to that challenge, mind you. But yes, they will not have a good Friday evening, I'm sure of that. But what we will have is good content coming your way. Again, Thursday night, you got myself and Papa Smokes are bringing Fusion right here to OLE Podcasts. We're going to be joined by MLW's Mr. Thomas, one member of the Beaumaye Fight Club this Thursday night. So come on in, join the conversation, get your questions in for Mr. Thomas. And speaking of Thursday nights, not on Olay, but good friends of ours, Cody and Astrid bring you everything that's making an impact. Our friends over at Impact Wrestling and our good friends Cody and Astrid have all the Impact conversation in the evening, right after myself and Pop Smokes bring you everything MLW over on Fusion. Then on Friday, Pop Smokes and I were going to be dropping a new episode of Ring Respect Radio. This is going to be the first episode of Ring Respect Radio to hit OLE Podcast, the first time we've stepped it outside of our own personal channel. So this is a new experience for us. And we're going to be talking about the career of somebody who I think was making some attention today, Mr. Bob Backlund, on Friday's episode there. And of course, I'm going to probably be bringing you some version of the Bravado this weekend, talking about all things, out there in the world of movies, television, music. And I've got a PPW show this weekend, so I might even just toss in a little conversation when it comes to the PPW talk this weekend too. But I will also see my brunch buster brother right there, Chris Parrish, on Sunday, and we can talk all about what happened to his unlucky opponent from Friday.
Yeah, we can talk about everything that happened at the Prairie Pro Show.
We can do
as well. So yeah, don't want to miss that. And then also before we head out, I also want to give a big thanks to Rogue Energy, where you can find everything Rogue at rogueenergy.com. As you see right here on the graphics, make sure you're checking out that QR code, scan that for everything. I'll leave that up because that was stupid of me to take it off. But yeah, if you want to use the code word OLE pods, you can get 10% off your order. I mean, we can't stop talking about it because it's just good stuff. So make sure you're going out there, and if you want to use our code, we'll get you some money off too. So yeah, go check that out.
Yeah, we love sharing the love. So check out our friends at Rogue Energy there for your alternative to the average everyday energy drink. Ready to stay up all night, do some streaming? You could do so now. Sugar-free, low-calorie, and vegan-friendly with our friends at Rogue Energy.
Yeah. And You said we like to show some love. I mean, and this is the thing. We're gonna show love even again more because we're gonna raid someone, I believe.
Let's
We're
do
gonna
it.
raid the good people at Get the Tables over there. So make sure that you give them the Olay welcome that you can. And so we're gonna check out some good old Get the Tables over on Twitch.
Hold on, Parrish.
Yeah.
You gotta go. Get the tables. You can't go. Oh.
Well, I didn't know if I was the Bubba or the Devon, so I just I mean,
Well, I could just Parrish.
I mean, what?
Get the tables. Raid that channel.
Yeah. Well, I thought you were going to rate that because you're logged into the.
Oh yes, I am.
Yep.
Hang tight, everybody, while I get this figured out.
This is why Devon was the brains of the team.
Yeah, I guess so. I was dropped on my head through too many of those tables, apparently.
Yep.
But yes, keep talking while I figure out how to do this, because I'm not the best with these
well,
things.
as this is going to go on, yes, we're going to raid. I'm going to play the beautiful graphic that you saw at the beginning. I'm a little proud of. So thank you all again for coming and checking us out, and please go Get the Tables the love that you guys gave us. So we appreciate it. Thank you.